is their manager. And I met Mr. Conklin, I guess, years back. He lived in Jersey. He had a home that he had built there. And one night there was a fire, and his entire home was destroyed. He had just started building his home. And somehow he sort of migrated to Palestine, as usually people, come into Palestine and they find the Multicultural Center. And I didn't even remember it, but we evidently were able to help Mr. Copeland, and he wanted to repay us for the things we had done for him. So he decided to have a benefit for the Multicultural Center, and many of you all know that we do need a benefit, because there are a lot of things that we cannot do that we need to be doing. So Mr. Copeland is here today. We have Chad, who is the blonde, the younger one, and his father. And I really thought they were brothers, believe it or not. We have Tugboat Taylor. And this evening we're going to be talking to them and finding out what's going on, because on Saturday we're going to have a wrestling match, and guess where it's going to be? In Elkhart. And I want to say to Mr. John Booth, and I want to give Elkhart a big yay, because Elkhart was the only school that will allow us to come. And I want to say thanks, Mr. Booth, for being so kind to open your doors to help the Multicultural Center. Tugboat, how long have you been in this?
How long have I been a professional wrestler?
Yes.
I've been a professional wrestler for 15 years now.
Was your daddy one?
No, my daddy didn't know anything about professional wrestling.
Well, what made you want to go into it?
Well, I wrestled in high school. I wrestled in the Marine Corps. I was 5th United States in the 1972 Olympic trials. So when I was in high school, my coach told me I should be a professional wrestler.
Why? Because you were big and muscular?
Well, that, and yeah, I used to get the guys down and ride them like I was a professional already. But I was only like 17, 18 years old then.
Oh, really?
So, but my coach says, you ought to be a professional wrestler someday.
That's great.
So,
that went along with you a long ways, huh?
It's helped, yeah, and I go back. See, I'm from the great state of Iowa. I know Texas, how great that state is. I've been here for 15 years now, and I love Texas. But one thing they're not doing is they're not teaching the kids amateur wrestling here in Texas. That's one of the greatest individual sports alive that a man can do.
But some parents are going to say, wrestling is just too rough.
They can walk across the street and break a leg.
Okay.
Give that kid the opportunity to get in there and learn amateur wrestling.
Okay. We're going to talk about giving that kid an opportunity to learn about amateur wrestling in a little bit. But you not only wrestle, but your son wrestles. And you become like a team. And I keep saying team, and he keeps saying, you keep saying team, but it's not team, we're individuals.
We have tag team together in Dallas, and we've gone as the American Express for when it was Global Wrestling Federation. Now in Dallas is the NWA, it's the National Wrestling Alliance. And they're changing things around, they're pretty good, they're going back to wrestling.
Okay.
And I think the fans,
clean
wrestling, you're still going to have a few bad eggs in there.
Okay.
But they're giving the fans what it used to be years ago.
Okay. All right. I know that you're a drug-free federation. All the guys that wrestle within your company, what do you call it? Not team.
Our federation.
And your federation, they are drug-free.
They are.
And this is like a message to the kids that are coming, right?
Yes. We also invite any other wrestlers. Well, I'm not saying the wrestlers are on drugs. I mean, there are some people in every sport, every business, that do lead themselves astray a little bit once in a while. And what we're asking to do is, if anybody is on drugs, that they come and talk to us.
Okay.
And we'd like to talk to them and see if we can get them back the other way.
Okay. Do you all travel a lot? Where are all the places you go, some of the places that you go to wrestle? Is it just here in Texas, or?
Well, we wrestle all over Texas, and we wrestle for any federation that will call us, or we call them, get in contact with them. And we've been to Japan and Saudi and Mexico. And yeah, we travel. We've done the police.
Okay.
So we do a lot of traveling.
Okay, and we know that people are the same, kids are the same everywhere, but do you find that kids, other places except wrestling, more than the kids in Texas?
Well, see, right now, all the kids know in Texas is professional wrestling.
Okay.
They don't know amateur wrestling.
Tell me the difference. I mean, what is it you all do that they don't do?
There's a lot of differences.
Well, between professional and amateur, Chaz, is the money.
Right.
When you wrestle
Oh,
as a
okay.
professional, you wrestle for money.
Okay, and you don't, per se.
Well, yeah, we do as professionals. We wrestle for money. But I'm here later on down the line that maybe we can get our kids and teach them the amateur way to wrestle and get them on a straight path.
Right. I know that you live in Houston now,
Yes.
right? And Harley brought you down to Palestine. And in bringing you down, I think it was the wrong thing, Harley, because he's fallen in love with Palestine. He doesn't want to go back to Houston.
Trying to get him move her.
Yeah, he's trying to move down here, you know. But Chet, what about you? Do you like Palestine? Did you
Yeah,
find
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, the people are friendly and.
He says if his dad will let him do a little talking once in a while so he can say,
Yeah, walking around, I see all the nice and pretty ladies out there
Oh,
around town.
tell him where we're going to be at tomorrow night, Chaz.
yeah. Where are you going to be tomorrow
Sign some
night?
autographs
Yeah, we're
tomorrow
gonna be
night
over at National Hair Care
at Walmart.
at Walmart. We'll be
Okay.
signing some autographs from 7 to
6:30.
6:30 to 9.
Oh, really? Oh, I can just see Walmart. Hey, that's good for Walmart. They'll really be crowded out with
Well,
young
so-
But
ladies.
that's I've traveled all over and my hair is part of my image and I have to keep my image and I've had some good haircuts but this is the best haircut I've had in a long time.
Well, who cut your hair?
That lady
Barber?
cut his hair, knew what she was doing.
Yeah, Linda.
Really?
She knew what she was doing.
Oh, well, good. That's a good plug for Linda, huh?
That's a great place to get your haircut though.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm sure the girls are glad to hear that. I know one of the young ladies that works there, Barbara.
She's a real sweetie.
Yeah, she is. She's a sweetheart. She used to work at another.
They all are. They're all nice. We're in there. They opened their arms to us and just accepted us like family. And it's
They all want to get that tug hug.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me this. Today, when you were out at Walmart, were there any kids to come up and ask you
a lot of
what was
kids.
going on? Really?
A lot of kids. A few of them recognized us, but some of them were just like, they were amazed by how big Dad was. They're like, who are you? I know you're somebody. A few
Okay.
of them. Like we were here one time and we were at the football game, and this kid comes up to Dad and says, "Do you know who you look like?" And Dad says, "No." Who do I look like? "You look like Tugboat Taylor." Dad says, "Oh, I am." And the guy just like,
Well, to flip out, huh?
yeah, he's,
Well-
We was at that playoff game, that first playoff game.
Palestine.
For Palestine High? Okay. With your look going around, and I know that you went down to Elkhart to look at the gym today, do you think we're going to have a good crowd down
oh
there?
yeah,
Huh?
oh yeah.
So,
I hope so. I think tomorrow we're trying to set up a time to go over there and talk to the kids there at the school on Say No to Drugs and Violence and tell them what we think about it and hope they don't get led astray.
Now, one thing about the Drug-Free Wrestling Federation, it's not that, we're trying to convert, everybody from taking drugs, everybody that's done them, trying to get them not doing them. We're trying to do that, but yet not everybody in the Federation has done drugs. I want to get that point across. It's not like all the guys there were all doing drugs and stuff and, they're all converted. It's that we all care about the kids in the society, and we need to get the message out there and let them know that drugs is not the way to go.
Well, we go to the schools and talk to the kids,
Okay.
and
Do you have any problems getting into the school to talk to kids?
no.
You don't? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. There is a message to kids, to say no to drugs, but it has to be something else because you just can't just say no. You have to explain them why, and sometimes it even take pictures, to show them what happens.
Well, first of all, they gotta love herself.
Yeah. That self-esteem.
If you don't love yourself, nobody else is gonna.
They gotta love themselves. Their parents gotta love them. The parents gotta show interest in them, and they gotta have that dream. They gotta find that dream. What do I want to be? You know, what do I want to do out of life?
Get that dream and go for it.
And then follow that dream. You know, you can't give up. Hey, I'm up there in years. I'm not going to say how old I am, but listen, I've wrestled just about every place in the United States and the world, and I have not yet wrestled in the Madison Square Garden. And I still have a dream.
You still have a dream that one day you will, huh?
One of my dreams too. You know, it may seem kind of weird, but you know, I've wrestled all over. I've been to Japan, Brazil, Mexico, all over the world, and I've wrestled a lot of big name guys and big guys. You know, and people ask me about some of my dreams. I'd like to wrestle Madison Square Garden like my father, but I have a dream of wrestling Ric Flair someday before he retires. You know, because in all honesty, I think he is one of the greatest. You know, my father, in my opinion, is the greatest.
Ric Flair is probably the best living legend wrestler.
He is, and you know, it's like playing basketball with Michael Jordan. You know you're going to get your face slammed. You know you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
But how many people could say they've done that?
Mm-hmm.
It's to climb in the ring with Flair or Hogan. You know, it's like
See, that's our high.
Yeah, that's our high.
That's our
We don't
high.
need drugs to get a high. You're in the arena with thousands of people. You know, we've been in Mexico with 60, 70,000 people in the ring with just you and another guy, and they're all cheering for you. You know, that's a rush. That's a high. So you know, you don't need drugs. You don't need any of that. That's like you feel the goosebumps.
When your music starts to play, your music starts to play, you start walking out there. That's it. That's all. That's all it takes. No drugs, baby. Just a mental high like that, walking into that ring. Them fans cheering for you. You get your hand raised or not, you just been out there and you give your 110%.
You gave it your all. You go out there, give it your all. Just like I was saying, you know, about my dream. Whether I go out there and I get beat or not, you know, I may get out there and get pulverized, you know. But my dad's trained me. I can hold my own. I've wrestled with some big 300-400 pound guys. And, you know, I know how to hold my own. I do a lot of the aerial flips and stuff to get the big guys off their feet. Once I get down on the mat, I know what to do to them, too, with the mat skills. Because, like Dad said, he was in the 72 Olympics, and he's taught me wrestling, you know, so I could hold my own. And whether I lose or not, still, not many people can say they've done it. You know, so that's a goal for me. And you got to have your goals.
I know that I promised Harlan I would not ask him any questions, but I just want to know, Harlan, did you wrestle too?
No, ma'am.
You never wrestled.
No.
You just was interested in it.
I moved to Houston a couple of years ago, met Tug and them. We started the Drug Free Wrestling Federation. I do a lot of promoting
You
stuff.
used to work for Paul Bosch, though, remember?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Harlan's followed wrestling for a long time. He used to work for the great promoter, Paul Bosch, who died just a couple years ago.
Okay.
And right now in Houston, there's nobody to carry that name, of course. Where he had the wrestling matches in Houston at the Coliseum, they are now in the process of maybe tearing it down and putting a gambling casino in there. So, you know, it's...
But will they put another arena someplace for the wrestling?
Well, the wrestling comes in there now at the Summit. But,
Okay. It's not the same though, huh?
No, it's not the same.
So they don't have it on a regular basis enough to keep the interest, you know?
But they used to.
They used to, but then they just stopped having it, and you know, like what we're trying to do is get wrestling on a regular basis to where, you know, people can go and have something to do.
And we'll keep the ticket prices down where people can enjoy, take their whole family, and have a good cheap night out.
Okay. Speaking of keeping the tickets down, I hope you saw on the screen this afternoon that the tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for all school-age kids. So, hey, you know that money that you're going to give the kids to go blow someplace else? Take them to the wrestling match. Let them sit there and enjoy.
People may see it on TV, but it's like any sport, pretty much. You watch it on TV, it's one thing, but to be there in person, it's a whole different experience. You know, you may say, but if you're there in person, you can't help but get involved, and you just like, you know, in the ring and stuff, your blood's boiling because all these people are, you know, cheering for you and stuff. You can't help but get involved, and you see
Chaz,
stuff you like. And
I caught myself the other day. We were down in Harlingen, Texas, watching some professional boxing matches. Me and Chaz sat in front row. I said, I'm not gonna get involved here. I looked up. I said, you know, well, I got involved in it. You know.
Yeah, you
I
can't.
wanted to hit him.
Yeah, it was a pay-per-view boxing they flew us down there for to see, and it was like there was so much hitting going on. These guys were, you know, I was watching for a drop kick or something, you know, or a body slam. I was like, I wanted to jump in and do something, you know. I was like, yeah, sitting there in the
So
audience.
this is
like,
what the kids will be tomorrow. I mean, on Saturday, huh? They want to get involved in it, huh? Well, hopefully anyway.
well, you know, hopefully they don't jump in the ring verbally.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
You know,
We don't advise anybody.
we don't advise anybody to jump in the ring because
No, I don't mean jump in the ring. I mean, you know, on the sideline.
there's been people that have done
We've had
that
some
before,
try it.
yeah.
Really? Jumped in the ring?
Tried to get in the
Oh,
ring.
murder.
But you have to realize though, we're not just guys jumping out of the audience in wrestling. We're trained professionals. We know how to fight,
Okay.
you know, and you have to consider that. People think, how can you guys go through all these moves and do these things that, you know, but we do it, you know, just like boxers. We go through this beating day in and day out. It's not like we're just jumping out of the audience and, hey, I'm a wrestler. You know, I trained since, by the time I started when I was 16. I started training wrestling.
He's lying.
Was he 6 instead of 16?
I had him doing amateur wrestling at the age of 5 at a YMCA up in Iowa. He said, Daddy, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
I didn't like it.
He lost his first 2 matches, but after he won that first match,
It was in his blood.
I loved it. Yeah, after I pinned that first guy. Whoa,
he was pumped up.
yeah, it's a rush. Yeah, that's a good feeling, you know, and that's a good feeling for the young people to do is wrestling. If you've never experienced wrestling, you just, you know,
Picture
think
yourself,
about
2 little guys out there, 5, 6 years old, all of about 45 and 50 pounds, with their wrestling tights on.
Mm-hmm.
On a wrestling mat, little headgears on, and they're out there wrestling each other. See who can put their shoulders down for a 1, 2, 3 count.
Wouldn't that be better to see them doing that than standing on some corner trying to sell some drugs or some drugs?
Exactly. And they're doing something positive. They're working on their physical, mental, and
mental,
yeah, and it's just
You know,
it's a heck of a sport. It
There's
really is.
something wrong with today's society that I have noticed. Kids nowadays, like I work out in the gym, and I'll see some kids just beginning at the gym, they say, oh, I'm tired. Now, when I was that age, I didn't even know what that word was.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta want it.
Tired.
Yeah.
You gotta want it.
Well,
Something
then,
wrong.
it's what they're putting into their bodies too. You know, they're not eating properly. You know, and you definitely have to eat properly.
And there's a lot of people out there, you know, like the kids having kids, and then some of the people, the parents just don't care about their kids, what they do and stuff. You gotta care.
Yeah.
The kid, when they're kids is when you gotta care. You can't just give up. Like Dad was saying, the kid was tired, you know. You gotta want it. If you gotta have a goal, you gotta set that goal, you gotta go for that goal. You can't just in midstream stop. You gotta go right head on and go for that goal. You can't stop midway. You know?
Is your goal to get the gold belt? Is it the gold belt?
I've had a few championship belts around the
Okay,
waist.
great.
I've,
That kid at wrestling for WWF now.
yeah, the 1, 2, 3 kid. I used to wrestle him a lot, and he's, you know, he was a tough guy. You know, he's small, but
Still tough.
he's tough. You know, and I beat him for the light heavyweight championship belt in Global Wrestling Federation.
Okay.
Now he's worked hard for what he's got.
He has. He's earned it.
But,
Tell me about these guys that you're going to be wrestling. Are they called the bad guys? They're the bad guys.
Well, it's not like we're wrestling all the other guys that are going to be here. You know, there's I think 10 other wrestlers that are going to be here, 10 other professionals that I think a majority of them have been on TV.
They'll come in
They'll
Saturday.
be in Saturday.
Okay. This, I really want to, I guess my adrenaline is getting up because I can't wait to see this.
Are you going to be ringside?
Are you kidding? Yes. I'm going to be there. Go Tug. Yeah. Okay, something I wanted to ask you about. We're talking about the drug free. Did you ever have to have a problem with drugs?
I don't give in to peer pressure. I'm strong.
Oh, say that again.
No, I'm strong. I'm mentally.
Oh, that's great.
I know who I am. I have my goals, and I know.
Had this number 12 right up his rear.
Well, yeah, that's another factor too. When I was growing up, you know, I had the guidance and I had the respect for my parents.
Oh,
You know,
check this
I
out.
have the respect that I don't want to hurt myself, but yet I don't want to hurt the people that brought me into this world. So you know, you have to think about things. A lot of people don't think about what they do. You have to think. You know, I go out with my friends and stuff, and some of my buddies, you know, I go out drinking or something, they laugh at me because, you know, we'll be at a club and, you know, they're like, hey man, you want a beer? Nah, that's okay, thank you. You know, and I asked the bartender for a water.
With the lemon.
Yeah, water with lemon, because the acid in lemon helps, you know, eat up the tissue and, you know, and fatty tissue, and, you know, it's good for you diuretically. You know, you know, but then they look at me later on when they're all, you know, having bellies and out of shape, you know, then they look at, oh, yeah, hey, we should have listened to this guy, you know, and it's just I've had a good upbringing, and you know, I have no regrets in life. I regret nothing I've done or nothing, because if it wasn't for all those ups and downs, I wouldn't be where I am now. You know, and I'm happy.
I recall the Bun Erics. I finally thought about their names. I think all of them just about gone now, huh? Is it the Bun Erics,
And
right?
there's one more left.
There's one more
Kevin's
left.
still alive.
Yeah, they were real good friends of ours, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear, you know, that did happen. But there's nothing we can do about it. We
I
can
was
just,
real close to Chris too. He was around my age, and we, you know,
that just give the people out there watching wrestling and the people that do take drugs, if they know about it, that's something they don't want to get involved in.
Right. Because drugs kill.
they do.
They really do. They make you do things that you normally wouldn't do. And
Well, see, drugs and steroids, you know, it's the same thing. It's like I know
It's a
this
mind-altering substance.
last year. This friend of mine is 47 years old. He had a Mr. America body outside,
He was a bodybuilder contestant.
but he looked like he was 35, but inside he must have been 60 because he died last year from taking those steroids and stuff.
so those things absolutely kills, huh?
And that's just like some of the growth hormones or stuff like that they take. You know, they're not thinking ahead of time. What can this do to me in 10, 15 years from now? And like they take that growth hormone, if they got something wrong inside them, it's going to speed that up too.
Yeah.
Like this guy had leukemia and he didn't know about it. And it sped that up.
In wrestling, I'm glad we're talking about health-wise. Are you covered by a special kind of insurance? Do they have special insurance for wrestlers?
There's nobody who really wants insurance.
It's about as easy for wrestlers to get insurance as it is for a hockey player to get dental insurance.
No, it's hard.
Nobody will insure a hockey player with dental insurance. It's hard, you know, and especially being single, you know. I can't get under somebody's insurance, you know, a wife or anything, because I'm not married, so, you know, that's the easiest way to get on insurance is if you're married or something, whether you get under your wife's or spouse, but people don't insure wrestlers.
You're self-employed.
Yeah. Are there very many wrestlers that get hurt?
Oh, we get hurt all the time.
Oh, you do? I mean,
Yeah, these x-rays and, you know, these broken bones, I've torn ligaments,
I've
my head busted open.
I've only been seriously injured once.
Really?
With up in Kansas City, I got thrown over the top rope and landed right on my knee, and I didn't think I could walk. But a cure, horse liniment. I put some of that, what is that horse liniment called?
don't tell me that I'll be put in my back with a heart.
This horse liniment, put on my knee, then I put my knee pad over that night, slept on it. I got up the next day and my,
Is it absorbing junior?
no, not absorbing, no. But anyway, next day my knee was perfect. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was gonna be out for
Oh, DMSO.
DMSO, yeah. They put it on horses.
So,
But you gotta get that injury, like, you gotta get that injury right away when you get hurt.
Yeah, when you get hurt, you gotta
You know,
any healing stuff. You gotta do the stuff right away. You know,
don't let it.
take care of your injuries right away instead of, because if you don't take care of an injury right away, it's just gonna get worse. You know?
Okay, a long time ago. I'm not sure if they do it now because I don't watch wrestling anymore.
Oh,
I really don't, Chad. I really don't. I really
There's
don't.
a lot of you people out there say you don't watch
there's a
professional
lot of
wrestling,
closet watchers. That's
but
what it's
we
called.
know
People,
you.
yeah, a lot of people that call closet watchers and stuff, but they know everybody's name, all the moves, they know all the moves and everything. Oh yeah, okay. We hear you. Who's Hulk Hogan? Yeah, who's? Yeah, you've never heard of any of them.
No,
Okay,
no.
that's fine.
I remember
We
Bull
hear you.
Curry.
Okay.
Do you remember Bull Curry? Was his name Bull Curry?
Yeah, his eyebrows are about like this.
Because I had a friend that used to call one of my little boys Bull Curry because he was so bad. But
Great wrestler in his time.
Yeah, he really
Well, I got
was.
trained. We're gonna go back to earlier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
sorry
got
to
it.
interrupt you.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I got into business like 15 years ago. I got trained by Johnny Valentine. And I guess most people, the wrestling fans, have heard of Johnny Valentine. And
He was tough.
he was probably one of the toughest wrestlers in the world. And he's got a son, Greg the Hammer Valentine, wrestling now. And Greg is now wrestling for NWA up in Dallas. And Johnny lives in Fort Worth, so they get to see each other a little bit now. So that's a happy reunion for those two.
Oh, I bet it is.
I remember when I was younger, Dad was being trained by Johnny, and I was just a little tot, you know, and I remember Dad come home, he was black and blue, all over. You know, Dad's a tough guy. I was like, man, what's up with that? I was like, shut up.
You don't want that.
You know, and it's like, you know, training. People think that we just jump. I remember once when I was training, how hard and grueling it was. I remember football practice, I was heaving, and I was like, man, I thought football practice was the hardest thing. Man, it made football practice look like,
Cakewalk.
yeah. I was like, and then once I started training, you know, I realized that. I was like, man, wrestling is the best conditioned activity you can do. That's why.
It's better than karate.
Oh yeah, it's the best
Yeah,
conditioning.
you put a wrestler, a karate person, or a boxer together, and a wrestler come out on top.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, because it's
Because
yeah.
what he's
Of course, you gotta go for the guy's ability too. I mean, you don't take a beginner wrestler and put him against Chuck Norris, you know.
No, well, yeah, Chuck would stomp him, but but you know, that's why we got to get the kids young into wrestling or something, because you see, like in football, you see these fat, out of shape, non-athletic people playing football just because they're big. You know, they play football. I was one of the smallest guys on the team, but I was the leading tackler because I was quick. You know, I had strength and I had quickness. I could, you know, swim around the guy and, you know, or go through him if I had to, but I'd get the guy with the ball, you know, because I had the wrestling background when I was younger. And it's the stamina and just the breathing techniques, you know.
Chaz, I've had a lot of guys in Texas here ask me or tell me, I wish they'd had wrestling when I was in high school here in Texas. Because I'd have rather been a wrestler than played football. These people don't know that football can put a lot of kids out of any sport, you know, for the rest of their life because of the injuries.
But you think about it though, anybody with common sense, any coach or principal or superintendent anywhere with common sense could tell. I don't mean to dog the principal or anything, but anybody with common sense, if somebody was to come to them with a wrestling program in the lower states, the high school football players would be so much more in shape. They'd be so limber. The football would be
Because
awesome.
wrestling in the schools is a seasonal sport, and it's before their it's after their program.
But
It's
if
a winter
you
sport.
had it other than, you know, opposite times of football, imagine how good the football teams would be. Because the guys would be in shape. There wouldn't be a lot of fat slobs out there just because they're big. They're on the front line. You know, they'd be guys in shape.
And I really believe
It gives them a good mental attitude.
It does.
between the Multicultural Center, Harlem, and you guys, we might be able to pull this off, right?
What we're trying
Right here in Palestine.
right here in Palestine, Texas, I've already talked it over with some people, and I might relocate here in Palestine, Texas.
All right.
Well,
Can you imagine the kids?
What we're doing now in Palestine is looking for a building now to teach the kids here amateur wrestling, boxing, karate, and have a meeting room so we can talk, plus a weight room, for the adults and for the children, all free.
Oh, they're gonna say free. I don't believe it because we have the Y.
Well, if they want to have,
pay,
if
blah,
they
blah,
want,
blah.
if they want to have a soda or something, then they'd have to pay for that.
Okay.
We have a soda machine in there.
Okay. Then how would you be able to maintain? Because people are gonna ask that. Well, how will you be able to maintain if everything's free?
We would like to get weekly professional matches here in Palestine.
Oh, okay. And would you believe that would draw business into Palestine? You know, I read in the paper where people are saying, shop in Palestine, you know, keep your business here. But if we had something like this, can you imagine the number of little town people that's going to come to Palestine?
We love it.
That would be great.
Instead of people going out of town to
Right.
shop and have fun and stuff, right here in
Right
Palestine.
here in
We have
Palestine.
fun here, whether we get it a Friday night or a Saturday night. The people can count on some good, cheap entertainment on a Friday or Saturday night with Drug Free Wrestling Federation.
Oh, I think that would be wonderful. I really think that would be wonderful. And I think it would be good for our kids because if you look around, I'm sure if you've seen it, they really don't have any place to go.
Or anybody to talk to. Some people don't feel like they have friends or somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're on TV, you know, but we're human too.
Right.
You know, a lot of people, when they get up in that status, they think that they're all high and mighty, and they think that they're top dog. But they got to remember where they came from. You know, you gotta bring something back to the hood. You know, you got to bring something back and put the unity in the community. And we want to send a message out that we're friends. If the kids need to come and talk, you know, talk to a friend, hey, if we're in
And
town,
you'll be
we'll
surprised.
be, yeah.
The number of young men probably have a lot on their minds, you know, where they could just come and just blow it out to you, you know?
Right, exactly. You know, I'm not saying I know a lot about girls or anything, but
Oh,
if,
well, that's
but
not about girls.
if the young men would like to come and talk to somebody, you know, and hey, about anything.
Guys got problems just as well as
Just-
girls
yeah.
got problems. And I'm sure that we'll have somebody there, if we can't help you, you know, advise you where to go get help. And like,
Because we don't know everything. Nobody knows everything.
No.
when you think you know everything, get out of what you're doing.
I'm telling you, you better believe it.
I've had some wrestlers, not some, maybe just one or two, tell me that they know everything about wrestling. I said, well, you better get out of the business then, because you never stop learning.
That's right. It's just like Lottie.
Yeah,
You learn
exactly.
something new every day.
Exactly. They've been in there and they've said they know everything. Their next match, boy, they get their head smashed. You think you know everything, you can't learn. How can you learn if you know everything? You can't. You learn. You have to be open-minded. You have to use your head and think.
That's what the man up there put us here for.
Right. You gotta
Learn
learn
something
something
new
every
every
day.
day.
For a young man, you sure have a lot of wisdom.
Thank you.
I guess it's has to do with my daddy.
Is it because of his daddy? Well, let's
Well,
pass it on to
he's pretty street smart, because when I was wrestling, when he was younger, he'd go on a lot of road trips with me,
Oh, really?
and he learned the good and the bad.
And,
I mean, he's seen the good and the
the
bad.
kids have to know the good and the bad in order to make a choice what they want to do with their lives.
And if they have any problems making a decision, they have to ask somebody. If
And
they
don't
got
be
a problem.
afraid to ask.
Yeah.
You don't learn if you don't ask.
Right.
A lot of people are scared to ask, but how do you learn if you don't ask?
Yeah.
You don't ask questions, you're not going to learn.
A lot of kids feel inferior. Maybe that they are not good enough.
I don't understand that either, though, because like when I was in school, I remember seeing these people that, you know, they looked down on me that because I was, you know, I played football, but my senior year, I was wrestling, and I was wrestling on TV. So I was like, I wasn't the star quarterback, this and that, you know. So the people would like kind of look at me funny, but yet, you know, they talked to me, and I had a lot of friends, but I wasn't that star quarterback. And you see these people that their parents have money and stuff, so they think they're all high and mighty, you know. They think that they can't be touched. They're in their little clique, you know. If you don't have money, you don't dress a certain way, we don't want to talk to you. And these people, they acted like snobs. They didn't want to hang around me. But it's like, you know, think about it. I've been on national television, you know, and I have a little bit of money, or I did then, but I didn't let it go to my head. these people are in high school. They don't do anything because their parents have money. They think they're something special. You know, you gotta love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, nobody else is. But everybody's human, and just because your parents have money doesn't mean that you're something special. You know, you have to be your own individual.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you don't have that money or don't have the abilities like that, you have to go out and work hard for it.
You still gotta go after that goal.
You have to have a goal.
You still
Go
have
fight
to go
for it.
after that dream, just like Martin Luther King said.
Yes, I have a dream.
You gotta follow that dream.
Yeah.
I saw the prettiest rainbow last night. I was in Houston, Texas. Prettiest rainbow. Well, I wanted to go to the end of that son of a gun.
Find that part of gold.
There you go, but you still got a dream.
Well, I tell you what, I do believe that if you guys come here and we're able to pull this off and put it together, I think we'll have the support of all the community. I really believe that. I said, well, hey, here's somebody that really cares about my child. You know, a lot of parents, I know, they go to work, they don't really see their kids. The teachers spend more time probably with the kids and the TV than anybody else. But here you have somewhere for the kids to go. They could even be dropped off from school. You can have an after-school program. It could be a beautiful, beautiful
There
place.
will be many programs set up in which everybody can be, included in them.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that the mayor and the city council will accept you all here in our town and know that somebody need to come in here and do something for our kids, because our kids are going down the drain.
And we have to
Alcohol
start
and
in small
drugs.
places, small communities.
Yeah.
To where it'll give the bigger communities and the big cities something to look at and say, hey, they're doing something right.
Right.
You know, why not start in Palestine? Why not say, and then later on, and people say, this was where this good stuff really started.
Mm-hmm.
It's working in Palestine, so let's us try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It can work here, Palestine.
you can.
And can we take this same program that you were talking about to other communities?
Why not? Maybe if, not us maybe, but maybe even somebody else. If they'd like to start.
We've got these small communities around here.
We got to get the
You got
kids.
Crockett. I mean, all these
That's
small
right.
towns
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that Crockett and Fairfield and Athens and all these little cities have heard the news in the newspaper and all this, that the kids even from those places will come Saturday and watch and see what you all have to offer, and be there to get that adrenaline going, when you all toss to each other about. I'm excited about it, as I said, and it is Saturday at 12 o'clock. You said 12 o'clock. Don't worry. The senior graduation society down at Elkhart, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right, but it's the people that work with the graduating classes are going to have a concession stand, so you can come and feed your kids. Mothers, you don't even have to cook. All you have to do is get that kid out of there, get him up by 9 or 9:30, get him ready, and get him down to the gym by 12 o'clock on Saturday. You better get there a little early if you want a good seat, because are we going to have ringside seats, or we're just going to...
They're talking about it right now.
They're talking about it right now, okay.
I know there's bleachers on both sides. I don't.
Okay.
Nice gym too.
Is it a nice gym?
Yeah, nice big gym.
Okay, and again, I do want to thank Mr. Booth for being so kind and allowing us to use the gym. And I know that it's going to be an evening of fun. Could you tell me, how long does it last? My son said, oh, Mom, wrestling match doesn't last over 30 minutes. How long does a wrestling match last?
No, go ahead, Chad.
It varies, until one guy gets pinned, like an average match. I've seen the shortest match sometimes 10 seconds, sometimes a half hour, an hour. It depends on the two wrestlers' abilities, but there's so many matches. It could be, average show is between, hour, about 2 hours long.
Okay.
About an hour and a half, two and a half.
Are we going to have some raffles?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're going to have some raffles there. I tell you, it's going to be a lot of things. Did you get Santa Claus to come down?
Not yet, but we're still talking to him.
You're just talking to him, okay.
Talk about Santa Claus. I used to be the downtown Santa Claus from my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did that for like 5 years.
Well,
Of course, I didn't
one
need-
thing,
I didn't need
I was
any
going
padding.
to say, you didn't need any
I didn't
padding.
need any
I had
padding.
a Santa Claus last year on my show. And boy, I tell you, it was beautiful. I tell you, the kids were calling in and telling us all the things that they wanted for Christmas. But the most touching thing, and it was the day that we had the fireman here, who had told us about the extension cords in the yard and all the dangers at Christmas time. A little boy called in and said what he wanted for Christmas was to have his family back together again. Man, Santa Claus had tears in his eyes. The fireman had tears in his eyes, and I was sitting here with tears in my eyes. That was the most touching scenery that I had, one that had called in. It was really, really something else. But we might get you to be our Santa Claus next year if you move down to Palestine.
Hey, I'll bite on that.
Hey, you don't even have to grow another beard. Just paint it. Spray paint it, with some white.
If I didn't have to color it, it'd probably be gray anyway.
uh,
But listen, we did an elementary school down in Houston, and this still hits me here.
Yeah, you talk about tear jerking.
This little girl asked me. I said, ask the kids, are there any questions? And she says, she raised her little hand. She says, what do you do when your mom and daddy do drugs?
oh man.
So that.
Oh man, yeah.
It choked me up.
Tell me
Yeah,
about
I'm
your body time,
I'm 350 pounds, and it really choked me up.
I can imagine it did. I
But,
can imagine. And that is happening in so many homes. And that's why we got to try to save our children. And we can. Guys, my time is just about
You have
up.
to show them you care.
We have to, because
Caring starts at home.
the children.
You gotta get that message.
The children's
out.
our future, And the children's they're too many kids having kids.
Oh, yes.
But
You just gotta let
Sad.
the kids know you care instead of shoving them out the door and say go play.
if your kids
Give
got
them a big hug. Let them know you care.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, really.
hugs are in, hugs.
And learn to say I love you.
What's that?
Learn to say I love you. We as parents, we don't say it enough. We don't say,
No.
I love you.
That's it. It's the hardest thing to say, but it's the easiest thing to say. Or you could say it's the easiest thing to say, but it's the hardest thing to say. It comes out of your mouth so easy, but you gotta mean it.
It has to come from the heart.
You gotta mean it.
Yeah, it really does.
And for a dad or a mom to tell a little kid I love you, that means so much.
It
I
does.
know.
It
It makes their day. It
I
really
even
does.
get on the phone and every once in a while call my mom and tell her I love her.
That's great. That's great. I have a son that does that. It makes your day. It really, really does. Well, guys,
I love her right now.
Hi, Mom.
you think she's
Love
watching
you.
you? Okay. All right. Holly, you want to holler at somebody?
You want to tell your mom you love her?
Harlan's whole family here. I thought
Hi, everybody.
half of Palestine was related to Harlan.
Oh my gracious, is it about that bad?
We love everybody.
Okay. Okay, guys. Don't
So do
forget.
we love everybody in Palestine, too.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Especially the pretty girls in the
Yeah,
barbershop,
I
huh?
love pretty girls. I love
all
all
getting
girls.
his haircut, and the little checkout girl there, you went there?
Yeah, a girl I went to high school works over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I see I have 3 minutes, and I do want to remind everybody, that's 12 o'clock on Saturday at the Elkhart Elementary Gym. Tickets are $3 for school-age kids, $5 for adults. There will be a concession stand, and you just bring your pocketbook and just enjoy the evening with Tugboat and Chad and all the other wrestlers that's going to be there. And remember that we're trying to get these guys here in Palestine to help us with your children. Don't forget to go by and pick up an angel off of the Whataburger tree. That little child is there waiting. And I tell you, those are some of the cutest angels, some of them.
You hear my stomach growling?
Oh yeah, I know
We're
that
gonna
you're
go to Whataburger.
You're
We're gonna go to
going to
Whataburger.
Whataburger. You're going to pick up an angel like that.
Pick up an angel, just like their slogan. What you waiting for? Pick up an angel.
What you waiting for?
What,
is
yeah.
right. Yeah, what you waiting for? Christmas is right around the corner. They reminded me today that we have 2 more weeks before Christmas. And all you guys that have not come by and seen me at the Multicultural Center, I'm waiting on you because I have a whole stack of people that are waiting for us to help them this Christmas. And if it's your choice to go someplace and help someone else, do that. But please, have a giving heart. Don't be selfish this Christmas. Give that somebody else may be blessed. Don't forget, give to Jesus. Give to your church. Your church needs your support. And as I tell you every time I'm on the air, I'll see you in church on Sunday. May God truly bless you this week.
Amen.
Amen.